match. So today, we're going to unpack the story of how Cristiano Ronaldo broke the all-time international goal-scoring record by zooming in on the one incredible night that defined everything. And really, this whole story, it kind of hinges on one simple question. What happens when the hero fails? When the one person everyone is counting on right at their big moment stumbles? All right, so picture this. The stage is set for something historic. It's a huge World Cup qualifier. Portugal is playing Ireland, and all eyes are on one man, Cristiano Ronaldo, who is right on the verge of becoming the greatest international goal scorer in the history of men's football. And right at the start of the match, it feels like the perfect script is being written. Portugal gets a penalty kick. I mean, this is a golden opportunity. Ronaldo can score right here, right now, and break the record. Simple as that. You can just feel the buzz, the anticipation in the stadium. The commentary from that moment really captures it. It's Jeff Hendrick who has committed the foul and given away the penalty on Bruno Fernandes. This was it. This was the moment everyone came to see. But here's the thing about football. Just like life, it almost never follows the script. Just when you think history is a sure thing, the whole story gets flipped on its head by a moment of just pure disbelief. So imagine the scene, right? The world's greatest goal scorer, a guy who is practically addicted to making headlines, is stepping up to the penalty spot. The record is just 12 yards away. The entire stadium is holding its breath, and then the unthinkable happens. The commentator just erupts. It's saved by Bazunu. What a moment for the 19-year-old. The hero, the legend, denied by a teenager. Just let that sink in. 19. The goalkeeper, Gavin Bazunu, was only 19 years old. This wasn't just a penalty save. This was a total David versus Goliath moment, playing out for the entire world to see. Now, for most stories, that moment of failure could have been the end. But nope, this is where things get really interesting. It was the start of a long, frustrating siege, what our source material perfectly calls the Great Irish Wall. So what did this siege look like? Well, on one side, you had Portugal throwing absolutely everything forward, relentless pressure, shot after shot, cross after cross. Their star players were getting visibly frustrated. And on the other side, Ireland put on what was called a gutsy performance. Just bodies in the way, with defenders like Shane Duffy becoming absolute heroes, stopping every single attack. And listen, we're not talking about a few minutes of tough defending. For more than an hour after that missed penalty, the Irish team did not break. It really, truly seemed like this was going to be a night that would forever be defined by Ronaldo's shocking failure. But then, the clock hits the 89th minute. With time basically gone and a massive upset on the cards, the story takes one last, incredible turn. Just when you think it's all over, when Ireland is just seconds away from a famous victory, one last cross gets whipped into the box. One last chance. And then, an absolute explosion of noise, perfectly captured by the commentator screaming, Ronaldo's header, and he has done it. In a single heartbeat, failure was flipped into history. 110. That's the magic number. With that one header, Cristiano Ronaldo broke the all-time men's international goal-scoring record. The very moment he was denied earlier in the game had finally arrived, and in the most dramatic way you could possibly imagine. So what does this actually mean? Well, it's a huge deal. He officially became the global goal-scoring supremo, the one player who has scored more goals for his country than any other man in the entire history of the sport. It's just a mind-blowing achievement. But hey, if you think that's the end of the story, well, you don't know Cristiano Ronaldo. The record was broken, sure. The game was tied, but the story, it was not over. Okay, so let's just break down this unbelievable finale. First, he smashes the record with goal number 110. But then you have to look at his mentality. The source material notes that he refused to be downcast after the penalty miss. That is not enough for him. A record and a tie wasn't good enough. So what does he do? In the final seconds of injury time, he does it again. He scores the winning goal. And I mean, the commentary just says it all, right? Ronaldo's there again, would you believe it? That is why he is a legend. He didn't just break the record. He single-handedly won the game, turning what should have been his worst moment of the night into his absolute greatest triumph. Which kind of leaves us with this final thought to chew on. What is it that truly defines a legend? Is it just the perfect, flawless stacking up of records? Or is it the ability to fail spectacularly, and then find a way